Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between tall mountains and deep forests, there lived a young man named Elias. Elias was known throughout the village for his determination and his dream of becoming the greatest blacksmith the world had ever seen. Every day he would wake up before the sun rose and work tirelessly in his small forge, shaping metal into tools and weapons for the villagers. His hands were rough and calloused, but his spirit was unbroken. One day news spread through the village that the king was holding a grand competition. The best blacksmiths from across the land were invited to create a sword worthy of a royal knight. The winner would not only receive great honor, but also be given a place in the king's own forge. Elias knew this was his chance. He packed his tools, said goodbye to his family, and set off on the long journey to the capital. When he arrived, the city was bustling with people, and the air was filled with the sound of hammers striking metal. The competition was fierce. Blacksmiths from far and wide had brought their finest materials and years of experience. Elias felt small among them, but he refused to let fear stop him. He set up his forge and began his work. Days passed as Elias poured all his skill and effort into crafting the perfect sword. He hammered, folded, and polished the metal with great care. Finally, when the time came to present his work, he stood before the judges with pride. But as they examined his sword, their faces remained unimpressed. The blade was strong, but it lacked the elegance and balance of the other submissions. When the winners were announced, Elias's name was not among them. Heartbroken, he left the city and began the long walk home. The journey was harder now. Every step felt heavy with disappointment. When he finally reached his village, he didn't go to his forge. Instead, he sat by the river, staring at the water, wondering if he should give up. An old man from the village, a philosopher named Marcus, saw Elias sitting alone and approached him. "Why do you look so troubled?" Marcus asked. Elias sighed and told him about the competition, about how he had failed despite all his hard work. Marcus listened quietly, then sat beside him. "Tell me," he said, "when a tree falls in the forest, does it stop being part of the forest?" Elias frowned. "No, of course not." Marcus nodded. "And when a river meets a rock, does it stop flowing?" Elias shook his head. "No, it finds another way." Marcus smiled. "Failure is like that rock in the river. It does not mean the end, only that you must find another way forward. Every great blacksmith, every great man or woman has faced failure. But what makes them great is that they did not let it keep them down." Elias thought about these words for a long time. The next morning, he returned to his forge. But this time, he did not just work harder, he worked smarter. He studied the techniques of the masters, practiced new methods, and even traveled to learn from other blacksmiths. Years passed, and with each failure he grew wiser, stronger. Then another competition was announced. This time, Elias did not rush. He took his time, applying everything he had learned. When the judges examined his sword, their eyes widened with admiration. The blade was not only strong but beautiful, a perfect balance of form and function. This time, when the winners were announced, Elias stood at the top. But the greatest reward was not the prize or the recognition. It was knowing that he had faced failure, learned from it, and risen stronger than before. The story of Elias is the story of all of us. Life will knock us down, not once, not twice, but many times. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. Every fall teaches us something, if we are willing to listen. Every setback is a chance to grow, if we have the courage to keep going. So when you stumble, when the weight of disappointment feels too heavy, remember the river. It does not stop. It adapts, it flows, it carves its path through stone. And so can you. Stand up, learn, try again. That is the art of getting back up after failing. And that is how true strength is forged.